Welcome to the Google Presentations METT training video. In this training, I will cover basic presentation formatting tools, how to insert objects like pictures and word art, some animation features like transitions, and also how to collaborate with others on your presentation. As I work through the training, I will pause after certain tools just to give you the opportunity to pause the video and practice any of the tools or skills that we just covered. You can also pause or rewind the video anytime if you need to go over something again. If you've not already logged into your Google Drive, you'll need to go ahead and do that. You can either go to mehlvilleschooldistrict.net and enter your district network username and password into the little green box. You don't need to enter the @mehlvilleschooldistrict.net because the little green box already gives it to you. So go ahead and do that. Or if you're logged into your email, you can quickly go to the little grid in the upper right-hand corner and click on Drive, and it'll take you right over to your Drive, perhaps. Once you're logged into your Drive, up in the left-hand corner, you'll see the big red Create button. That Create button will allow you to create folders, documents, presentations, spreadsheets, forms, or drawings. For this training, we're going to focus on presentations. And you can always see a presentation because it is the yellow icon. So over here in my Drive, I have the little yellow icons, so I know that those are presentations. Go ahead and click on Create Presentation. And you'll notice that it opens it into a new tab at the top. Your old Drive tab is still back here. Depending on your settings that you have set up, it might pop up and tell you to choose a theme before you even start creating your presentation. I always uncheck that because I like to go back and choose my theme later on. So we're just going to go ahead and click Cancel for now. We will come back to theme later on in the video. So go ahead and just click Cancel, or the X in the right-hand corner. So the first thing that we need to do is title our document. In Google Docs, presentations, spreadsheets, rather than saving something because it already saves automatically to your Drive, we just have to give it a title, because otherwise you would end up with tons of things called untitled presentation in your Drive. So to rename our presentation, we're going to go up to the upper left-hand corner where it says Untitled Presentation. And when you hover over it, you get the little black box that says Rename. So go ahead and click on Untitled Presentation, and then it lets you rename the document. We're just going to call this one Presentation Practice, because that's what it is. And we're just going to do some practice stuff with this one. And then whenever you have it named, we click OK. And you'll notice that it changes the name here. It also changes it on your tab. And if you were to go back to your Drive, it changes the name in your Drive as well. So that's kind of like saving it, but it's just renaming it. The other big change recently with presentations in Google is the slide size. They've resized the slides so it's set up for widescreen computers. Most of our computers in the district are not set up to be a widescreen computer. So when you could leave it like this and it would be fine, but whenever you present the presentation, you would have a black bar at the top and the bottom so that it would be widescreen. So I always go back in and change mine to standard. And so to do that, we go to File, and then down to Page Setup, and then we just simply change it to standard, a little drop down, and click OK. And then you can see it kind of looks more like what you would think of as a normal sized slide. Now we need to go ahead and start our presentation. You can see that it starts with a title slide. We are going to click where it says Click to Add Title and give it the same title that we gave the overall presentation, which was Presentation Practice. In the subtitle area below, you can usually give more information about the presentation or just elaborate on the title. Today, we will just do a simple byline. So go ahead and click where it says Click to Add Subtitle and type by, and then your actual name. We are done with this slide for now. We will come back to it later when we work on the overall design. To insert a new slide, we're going to go to the upper right-hand corner underneath the File button to find the little plus sign. When you hover over the little plus sign, you can see that it says New Slide, which just means it's going to add a new slide. So go ahead and click on the plus sign, and you can see that whenever you click on it, it inserts a new slide with a title and content layout, which is similar to defaults you've probably seen in other presentation software. Like I said before, we are just creating a basic practice presentation here. So this slide is going to deal with just some basic information about Mehlville School District, just so we have some text to mess with and some information on the slide. So we're going to start by clicking where it says click to add title and type Mehlville School District. In the content area below, we will list the schools in the district, so just go ahead and type this information as well. So we're just saying that we have 2 high schools, 4 middle schools, 10 elementary schools, and then 1 early childhood center. As you're typing, you probably noticed that one of the major differences in Google Presentations from PowerPoint is that Google Presentations does not default to have bulleted lists on each slide. If you want to use bullet points, you have to insert them yourself in Google Presentation. So to do that, we're going to just highlight or select the list that we just created. And then up here on the formatting toolbar, we're going to go to the far right-hand side, and you can see the 2 list options, so either a numbered or bulleted list. If you don't see those 2 buttons, your screen might be zoomed in farther than mine, so you might have to click on a button that says More, and then it will give you those list options. Just like any other list that you've probably ever made, you can customize it a little bit. So you can use traditional bullet points, check boxes, little stars, any of those things are fine. I'm going to use the traditional bullet point for this, but you can feel free to use any of those 6 options are fine. And it goes ahead and puts in the bulleted list. Something else you might want to consider whenever you're creating lists on these slides is to change your line spacing. If you're not using numbers or bullets and each individual line gets to be kind of long, it could look like you have just a paragraph on each slide because there's no bullet points breaking those lines up. So in that instance, you would probably definitely want to change your line spacing. I'm going to change the line spacing here just so those bullet points take up more space on my slide. So to do that, right next door to where we changed our bullet points, you're going to see the line spacing icon. It has a little paragraph with the 2 black arrows pointing away from one another. You can click on that and then choose either 1.5 or double spacing. I'm just going to put 1.5. You can also tell it to just add space after a list item, so it'll automatically do a double space after any list item. Either one is fine. I'm going to choose 1.5. At this point, I'm going to pause here to give you the chance to pause the video if you need to go back and see something again or just practice those steps again. So if you need to pause, go ahead and do that. So now that we have information on the slide, we're going to go ahead and start making some basic formatting changes. The first thing we want to do is change our overall slide design or slide background. If you look up here on the top toolbar, you'll see that there really isn't a button that says anything about backgrounds or slide designs or themes. That's because we are currently in a text box, and we know that because there's a blue box around it. Google Presentations is kind of intuitive in that it knows what you're trying to do. If you're in a text box, it gives you font changes, font colors, alignments, list options, because it knows you're trying to edit text. In order to edit your overall slide design and layout, you'll need to click off of your text box, so just anywhere out here in the gray area, and you'll see your toolbar up here at the top change. And that's where you can now go in and change some of your overall slide designs. So we're going to go ahead and click on Theme. And it pops up the same choose a theme box that you guys saw whenever we first opened up the presentation. Now, down here at the bottom, some of you may have where it says show for new presentations checked or unchecked. If anyone had that unchecked, they didn't see this box whenever we first opened it up, which is why I had to skip past it. So you can go ahead and scroll through, find one of these themes that you like. I like the one that's called Label. So I'm going to click on that one and either double click, hit OK, and you'll notice that it changes the overall design for the entire presentation. If you're used to using Microsoft PowerPoint, you'll know that once you choose a slide design, you can go in and customize the colors of nearly everything. You can do the backgrounds, the bullets, the font colors, any of those things. We are a little bit more limited in Google Presentations. The one thing that we can change is the background color. So whatever the basic background color in your presentation theme is, that will change. For me, it's that dark red. So I'm going to click on background, and I can change my background. I'll change it to a dark blue. And you'll notice, if you can kind of see over here, when I choose that, it only changes it for the current slide. So if you want that same color on every single slide, you'll have to first click Apply to All, and then click Done. And it changes that basic background color. Another thing that we're going to do is change our font. And again, in Microsoft PowerPoint, you're probably used to when you change your font on one slide and you choose a font theme, it changes it for the entire presentation. Unfortunately, in Google Presentations, we don't have that. So if you want a specific font for your title on each slide, you'll have to change it on each individual slide, which can be a little frustrating, but it's not that much work. So go ahead and highlight your title, Mehlville School District, and up here at the top where it says Arial, click the little drop down, and you might see a lot of different fonts in my list that you don't have on yours. That's because I have added several fonts from the Google Font Library to my overall font, choices. To do that, you can go down here to More Fonts, and it pulls up the entire Google Font Library. If you know what you're looking for, you can search for it. Otherwise, you can scroll through, and when you click on one, it puts a little blue check mark, and it adds it to your overall font list. And click OK. I'm actually going to use the font. It's called Cherry Cream Soda. I really like that font. I'm just going to go ahead and use that one. And just like with any other text box, you can change the alignment to center if you want. You can change your font color. Right up here next to bold, italic, and underline, you can change your font color to either match your background or stand out against your background. I'm going to leave mine red. At this point, I'm going to pause again, just in case somebody wants to go back and look through the fonts and find a couple of fonts to add to their overall list. So I'll go ahead and pause here, and feel free to pause the video. So we are currently done with this slide and ready to move on. So go ahead up to the little plus sign in the top left-hand corner underneath File. We're going to insert another new slide. And remember, you can use that little drop-down to choose the type of slide layout that you want. We've currently been using title and body, and honestly, that's probably the most common type of slide layout. You can also do 2 columns, where you can do a comparison or different lists. Title only would be good if you're inserting pictures and just having objects. Caption would be good for a very large picture with a small caption, and then blank is good if you're inserting videos. So we're going to go ahead and just click on title and body. We're going to continue to use that slide layout. And remember that we said if we were going to change our font type on one slide, we needed to do it on each additional slide. So at the top where it says click to add title, we need to change our font to whatever font you chose for slide 2. I chose Cherry Cream Soda, so that's what I'm going to choose here. And go ahead and title this slide whatever your building name is. I work at Bernard Middle School, so I am going to type Bernard Middle School. You can go ahead and type the name of your building. For this slide, we're going to start inserting different objects and looking at the ways that we can use the different tools and objects in PowerPoint to kind of enhance a slide or make a slide look good. The first thing we're going to do is insert a word art. And you will see up here at the top, these are your basic object tool. This is your basic object toolbar. However, word art is not one of the options. You could draw lines, different shapes like stars and boxes, insert a picture or a text box. In order to insert a word art, we're going to have to go to the Insert drop-down menu and then click Word Art. Different from Microsoft PowerPoint, when you would normally see the pop-up box, the dialog box that has where you can type your word art, you can choose your font, all of those things. Here, it just wants you to insert the words, and we'll format those later. So I want you to type in your school's mascot. So Bernard is the Patriots, so I'm going to type Patriots. So if you're the Tigers or the Panthers or whatever you are, go ahead and type in your mascot. And then you can see right here where it says use Shift Enter for multiple lines. So if you wanted your word art to be on multiple lines, you would just hold down Shift and hit Enter for each one of those lines, because just hitting Enter inserts that word art. So go ahead and hit Enter, and you'll see it puts Patriots right there in the middle of my slide. From here, word art acts just like any other text. So we can change the font type by going up to where it says Arial, because everything defaults to Arial, and choose any font that you want. I'm going to choose Anton, just because I like the way that looks. You can go ahead and choose any font. Also, over here, we can choose our fill color and our line color. So the first thing we're going to do is click the little drop down next to the fill bucket called fill color and choose one of your school colors. At Bernard, our school colors are red and blue. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a red fill for my fill color. And right next to it, for line color, choose whatever your other school color is, if you have to. If not, you can do black or gray or something like that. I'm going to choose a dark blue. And because that blue line doesn't show up very well, I'm going to click the line weight button right next to line color, and you can make that line thicker so it stands out. Now, it's not a lot or often that we might use word art in a presentation, but sometimes it really adds a lot as a slide title, or whenever you have pictures, just as a word next to the pictures. So sometimes it really does help to use word art rather than a title or whatever you would normally use. So I'm going to just click on my word art, go ahead and select your word art, and we're going to move it up so that we have more space at the bottom of our page. So if you click it and start to drag it up, you're going to notice as you move around the page that you get these little red lines. Those red lines let you know that you are center aligned either in the middle of a text box or just in the middle of the slide, both horizontal and vertical alignment. So go ahead and drag it up kind of towards the top of the text box and see if you can get that perfect red line to show that you are horizontally center aligned on the slide. And don't worry about this click to add text on the back, because if we hit play right now or present slideshow, that would not be there, that would go away. So the next thing we're going to do as far as inserting objects, we're going to insert a picture. And to do that, we're going to use one of my favorite tools in Google Docs, Google Presentations, which is the research tool, because it makes it so easy for both adults and students to do research and find and insert their citations and their links along with their pictures. So we're going to go up on the toolbar and click on Tools and then Research. And it'll open up this research toolbar over here on the side. You'll notice that there's a little camera right here, and next to that camera you can tell it that you want it to search everything, which if you click everything, it is a Google search just like you were on google.com on the website. So it's just a plain Google search. You can search by images, videos, you can search Google Scholar, which is Google's library of scholarly articles. So we're going to start with searching images. And I'm going to search for Bernard Middle School. We should be able to find pictures of most of the buildings in the district, I hope. So I'm going to search Bernard Middle School. Go ahead and search for your school's name. And hopefully you can find a picture of your school building. If not, you can search for Bernard, or you can search for Mehlville. You can search for like your mascot and just find a picture that is relevant to your school. So I'll go ahead and pause really quickly and just give you a second to kind of find a picture that is relevant to your school. Okay, once you find that picture, and I found this one right here, which is Bernard, when you hover over it, it kind of gives you a pop-out of that picture. If I were to click on the picture, it would take me to the website where that picture is located. So to insert it into your presentation, you need to click and drag. So I'm going to click on it, hold down, and just drag it over into my presentation and let go. And then I can pull it up and resize it. Having trouble getting a hold of it. And the cool thing about Google Presentations and the research toolbar is that whenever you pull this picture over, it automatically puts the link where you got it. When you click off of it, or whenever you are in presentation mode, that link is not shown. But when you're actually in editing mode and you click on the picture, you can see the link down here at the bottom. That's really helpful for students whenever they are using pictures from the internet. It automatically puts those links in for them so that they can give credit to those pictures. This tool is available in both presentations and in Google Docs, and it's fantastic. You can also search by everything. And if I were to, I can insert a map of Bernard Middle School. I can hover over any of these. I can insert links to any website that it finds. So really, this research tool is very, very valuable. I'm going to go ahead and insert a map and just kind of let you see what that looks like. And it shows me right there where Bernard Middle School is located. So if you want to do that as well, just make sure you're searching everything. And if you search for your school's full name, you probably get a map right here, and you can hit insert and it will insert that map, which I think that is such a useful tool that it automatically inserts basically anything from Google, and it pulls the link over with it, which is huge both for students and just for adults whenever we're doing research as well. At this point, I'm going to pause because we just covered a whole lot. So if you need to rewind it, go back, kind of finish up messing with the word art, or inserting a picture of your school or your mascot, I'm going to go ahead and pause, so feel free to pause or rewind the video. There's one last tool that we're going to use on the Insert drop-down menu. We're going to talk about how to insert a video into your presentation. So to do that, we need to get a new slide, a blank slide with some room on it. So go ahead and go up to the plus sign in the top left-hand corner and click the little drop-down. And for this one, we're just going to use a blank slide because all we're going to have on it is the video, nothing else. So choose blank slide. If you just hit the plus sign and had already chosen a slide, you can always change the layout of your current slide by clicking layout here on your toolbar and then just changing it to one of the 6 options. So you can choose layout either by inserting a new slide or by changing the layout of an existing slide. So because Google owns YouTube, there's a direct link between Google Presentations and inserting YouTube videos, and it's really pretty convenient. And it's much easier to insert a video into Google Presentations than it is to insert a video into PowerPoint. So we're going to start by going to the Insert tab and then click Video. And you'll see, mine already has the search term, you'll see that it pops up a YouTube search. Now, if you already have a URL, you can click on URL over here and just copy and paste a video URL. So if I went to YouTube and went to the district website or any YouTube video and just grab the URL up here at the top, copy it, and then paste it in, it would immediately find that YouTube video. Because we don't have one ready to go for this presentation, we'll just stay on the video search option, and we can just search Mehlville School District. You can search your school building and see, because there's a lot of concerts and fundraisers and all different videos that are posted out there from all of the buildings in the district. I'm just going to search Mehlville School District. And I'm just going to use this first one, Mehlville High School's Marching Band National Anthem from this year. So I'm just going to click on it and hit select. And you'll see it inserts that video right into your slideshow. You can resize the video just like you would any picture or object, any other image. You can resize that video so it takes up your whole slide. And obviously it's not playing right now, but whenever we go into presentation mode, it will play. So using videos in your presentation, I think this is a really great tool, especially with that partnership between YouTube and Google. It makes it so much easier just to link those two up. I'm going to pause now in case you need to go back and look for a video or work back through those YouTube searches. So at this point, we are done formatting our presentation and inserting objects and things like that, and we're ready to move on to different types of transitions and then collaboration. We're going to use slide 3 for the majority of our transitions and animations, only because there are a lot of objects on that one, and so it will make the animations a lot more visible. So go ahead and click on slide 3 if you've not done so already. And up here at the top where we changed our theme and our background, there is a transition button. Click on transition, and it opens up this transition toolbar over on the side where your research toolbar used to be. If you had not already closed that research bar, the animation transition bar just replaces it. So right now, you can see that your slide has no transition applied. When you click the drop down, you can see that there are 7 types of transitions if you include no transition as one of them. You're probably used to having about 50 options for transitions in PowerPoint. Google is a little bit limited in transitions, but the ones that they have are interesting. So you can go through and click on each one and kind of preview it. To preview it, you would need to click play. It doesn't automatically preview. Know that whenever you click on one, that one is applied. There's no special apply button. Once you've selected either fade or flip or whatever, know that it's already applied. You can change the speed from fast or slow, medium, and then hit play again and just see what it looks like. If you want that one transition applied to all 4 of your slides, you can just click on Apply to All Slides. and it will apply. However, if you want a different transition on each slide, you would have to go to each individual slide and change that transition. For now, just go ahead and choose one that you like, change your speed, and click Apply to All. The next thing we're going to do is add a few animations. We're not going to go crazy with the animations, but it is good to see what is available. You can see right here it says, select an object to animate. The first thing we're going to animate is our title, Bernard Middle School, or whatever your building title is that you typed in. So click on your text box. You don't have to necessarily highlight your text. You can just click on the text box and it will animate that entire text box. And we're going to click on Add Animation. Now, it's important to know that just like with transitions, there is no apply animation. When you just clicked Add Animation, you can see right here, it says Fade In has already been applied. So, if you want to change that, you click on Fade In, and you have 3 entrance animation options, Fade In, Fly In, and Zoom In, 3 exit animations, Fade Out, Fly Out, and Zoom Out, and 1 emphasis animation, which is Spin. So if you want to change it from Fade, you could do Fly In or any of those things. You can tell it if you want it to go on click, so when you actually click on the presentation, after previous, which would mean it would animate after the previous action, which is just the presentation coming, or the slide transitioning in, or with previous, which if we had multiple animations, they would all go together. I'm leaving mine as on click. Again, you can slow it down or speed it up, and hit play to preview it. So it's going to play your transition first, and then you do have to click, and it will zoom that title in. So that is already added. If you click Add Animation again, you will add a second animation to that title. So it would animate once and animate again. And I think that's kind of where some people get tripped up sometimes. So the next thing that we're going to do is animate our word art. So mine says Patriots, yours says whatever your mascot is. So go ahead and click on your word art. And we're going to add another animation. So just click Add Animation. For this one, you can choose to make it exit or choose spin. And this will just make that little Patriots or your little word art spin in a circle. I'm going to slow mine down and click play. And I click, and then click again, and it spins in a little circle. At this point, this is all I am going to animate. However, I am going to pause here again to give you the chance to go back over any transitions that you would like to do. And to do that, you would just click here where it says slide, or add additional animations to your pictures or other parts of your slideshow if you want to get that additional practice. So I'll pause here and we'll pick it up with collaboration in a second. The last thing that we need to do is talk about how to share and collaborate on a presentation. The first way that we're going to talk about sharing is to look at the printing options within Google Presentations. So to do that, we're going to start in the File menu and go down to Print Settings and Preview. It defaults to print to 1 slide per page, which really, obviously, is kind of a waste of paper unless you're planning on displaying a presentation. If a student makes a presentation and you want to hang it up, that's when you might want to print in with larger slides on each page. For this, we probably want to change it. So up here where it says 1 slide without notes, you can change it to a handout similar to what you're used to in PowerPoint. For this one, because we have 4 slides, a 4 slide per page handout is probably the best option. So go ahead and click that. And you can see that it defaults in landscape because it's probably the best fit just based on this, the shape of the slides. If you would rather it be in portrait, you can change it right next to where you changed how many slides per page. You can change it from landscape to portrait if you would like. You can also download it as a PDF. So if you just wanted to save that information and send it out without all of the transitions and animations, you just wanted to get that information across to someone, you could save it as a PDF and email it or post it to a website, anything like that. Or you could go ahead and print it to, whatever printers you have set up. So we're going to go ahead and hit close preview to go back to our editing. And now we're going to talk about what is really probably one of the best features in Google Drive, Google Presentations, Docs, any of those things, and that's the collaborative feature. It really lets people work together and work on one document or one presentation at a time. So to do that, we're going to start by going to Share in the upper right-hand corner, the big blue button in the upper right-hand corner. And it tells you that it's private only to you, which means that you're the only one that can see it, open it, change it, do anything with it. So go ahead and click on that blue button. And you'll notice it already has a link highlighted right here. That is the link to this specific presentation that you could share out to people. You could post it on a website, you could email it out. But right now, it says that it's private. So if somebody clicked on that link, they would have to request permission to be able to see it. So if you want to change that, you can. You can always click on change right there next to it. And you can say that anybody at Mehlville School District can find it by searching for it, and they can access it. So anyone in the district can see it without permission. Or you can say people at Mehlville School District with the link. So they have to have the link. You have to have sent them the link. And when they click on the link, they can open it. Anybody else who has not been sent the link has to ask permission. Or you can keep it private. Either way is fine. I'm going to keep this one private. This is for sharing with large groups of people, so the whole district or whole buildings, right? So instead, if you want to invite specific people, you can do that while keeping this private. So down here where it says invite people, that is where you can start typing the name or email address of anybody in the Mehlville School District that you would like to share this presentation with. And you can share with either students or teachers or both. It doesn't matter. So if you are currently in a group of people for a training, choose somebody that you're sitting next to and you're just going to share with one another. So you'll click down here where it says invite people and just start typing that person's last name, and it should bring them up. You might have to type last name first initial to find them. If you are working on your own, that's okay. So once you have found that person who you're going to share with, I would also like it if you would just share with me as well. So if you just type in Lewis S., you'll find me down here, and you can click on it. And then also find that person who you're sharing with if you're in a group. And you can choose to let that person edit, which means they can make any changes. You can tell them, no, I just want them to comment, which means they can make comments on anything, but they can't make any overall changes. Or you can say they can view, which is how I send out a lot of my assignment handouts and things to students, is with can view. So they can see the assignment, but they can't make changes to the actual handout. I'm going to keep mine as can edit. And then where this says notify people via email, some people are not great with checking their shared folder. So it's probably helpful to them and to you if you send an email saying that so-and-so has shared a document with you. And you can also add a little message saying, please see the attached presentation that we spoke about, or, whatever. And then we click share and save. And then you should see now both the person who you're sharing with, if you are in a group, and also me, my name. And then you can click done. To find a shared presentation or anything that is shared with you, you simply go over to your drive, and under my drive there you'll see shared with me, and you should see anything that has been shared with you by anyone, students or teachers. You can see folders, presentations, even some PDFs down here at the bottom. So go ahead, if you have something shared with you from someone in your group, go ahead and open theirs up. Otherwise, we can just comment on our own presentations. That's totally fine. And comments are very useful whenever you want to collaborate on something without writing over something that somebody has. So if I'm grading student work, I use comments really, really often. Go ahead and click on any of the slides that you would like to comment on. I just stick with slide 3 just because it has the most things on it. And click on anything that you would like to comment. So maybe you want to comment on the font or the color scheme somebody chose, or one of the photos they chose, anything like that. So I'm going to comment on the word art. So go ahead and click on the word art, and you'll see there's 2 places that you can insert comments. You can either go up here to the top where it says comments, next to the shared button, or you can click up here on this toolbar. You'll see a little comment button that kind of looks like a little post-it note. And if you click on that, it pops open this little yellow comment box, and you can say, "Great job," or "I like your font," or "I like the colors you chose," or anything like that. And when you click comment, it posts it. You can also reply back to any comments that are made, or you can hit resolve. So if I tell a student to check their spelling and they say, "Oh, okay," and they change that mistake, they can come over here and hit resolve, which means they've seen it and they know it's there. However, know that any comments that are made on a presentation, whether or not they are resolved, can always be found next to the shared button. And click on comments, and it shows you any comments that have been made on that presentation. So you can always go back in and check any conversations that have been happening on a presentation. And the same goes with any other document or spreadsheet in the Google Drive. So at this point, you can continue to make comments if you would like and practice that little commenting tool and talk back and forth with the people that are that you've collaborated with or that you've shared with. The final step is just to play your presentation, which up at the top next to comments, you can either tell it to present from the beginning, you can open it in a new window, you can present with any speaker notes if you typed notes down at the bottom, either way. This concludes the presentations training. I really hope that you found it useful and beneficial. If you have any questions about presentations or Google Drive in general, please feel free to email me at lewis.s@melvilleschooldistrict.net. You can also get in contact with Alicia Landers. Thanks so much and have a great day.